Hey y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 98. This is the first and only podcast dedicated to all things night vision, thermal imaging, and coronavirus. Coming live from the coronavirus bunker, you've got me, Jason, owner of Outdoor Legacy, and my co-host, who I'm sure is about 6 feet underground right now, Mr. Hans from the Hans East Texas YouTube channel. What's going on?
Hey, I want to thank everybody. Last week, as you know, when we taped the podcast, I could barely talk. My voice was gone. I was sick, and I want to thank all the people that reached out and wished me, get well soon, and all the happy wishes and want me to get to feeling better soon, which was exactly 0 people. So thank y'all for nothing out there in Radio Land. I survived without any of your well wishes, and I am back better than ever.
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe you had the coronavirus last week. That might have been the problem.
Well, then it might be the second time. Stay tuned for that story.
Yeah, that's another story.
Yeah, so good to be back, man. I tell you, it's been a crazy, it's been a crazy just since the last time we taped the podcast 1 week ago of everything that has happened. And that's, again, we'll get into that because the show is all about the coronavirus, how it's going to affect the night vision hunting industry, and talk about a few topics related to that. But it seems like just pure chaos. All those social media, you and I before the show were talking about some funny memes that are coming out on social media, but I never thought when you think of times that are as chaotic as this, that you'd see people really mainly just fighting over toilet paper. You would think it'd be like mostly food or gas. Or
I'm still waiting on the run on thermal scopes, thermal and night vision. I'm prepared for that run.
You're prepared. You're stocked up. Well, my wife, who I just gave her so much crap, and I'm going to say it. I gave her so much crap because when she would go to the store, and this is since I've known her, she would buy more toilet paper than our house could handle, more paper towels. We, always had 5 or 6 big bundles of 30 packs of toilet paper, like it was going to run out at any moment. And I would just complain about where am I going to put all this stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not complaining because she did not send me to the store to get toilet paper, which is I'm very thankful for. She did send me to the store to get bleach, but not really to clean with, because she washes her clothes with it. An insane amount of bleach per week
what
that
Hans
she goes through.
Is basically saying is he's got his daughters, since they're out of school, he's got them out on the corner, and they're out there price gouging on toilet papers. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't think too many people around here are going crazy about toilet paper, but you see it all over social media. There's a lot of things going on, and to get a little serious, there's some concerning things that are happening, and with the markets going way, way down, would they lose altogether, 30%?
They lost over 3,000 points, over 12%. The day we're recording this, which is
one day. One day. And so it's gone. It's been pretty crazy, and I was teasing Jason because one of those days, he's like, "Man, I've got some stock. I'm just going to sell it. I'm just selling it." And that was one of the days that it broke a record for the most amount of points drop in one day. And I told him basically it was your fault, Jason, that you caused all this sell off of the market.
It's my fault. Yeah, we were literally on the phone, and we were talking, and I was halfway paying attention to him because I was just going sell, sold all of it. Well, hey, listen, before we get into this talk, because there is a lot of, we got some, we joke about this, and we're going to joke about it because that's what we do, but it is serious, and there's a lot of serious things going on, and we're going to address all that. But I do want to bring up a couple things real quick, because this week is going to be a little bit of a different show for us, because we're just going to be, again, talking about, of all things, the coronavirus, which is a weird thing to talk about on a night vision and thermal podcast, but I don't know how we can't, since it is the only topic that anybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And we had plans to do another show.
We did
as of yesterday, and we had plans of doing a review of a night vision, the Digex that we both have had and had a chance to use, and that was the plan. But this right now is more pressing. I think we need to talk about. I think a lot of people want to know about it. There's a lot of questions that people are having and are posing to us. We want to make sure to kind of
Well,
ease people's concern on some of this
let's
stuff.
that's true, and let's face it, Hans. I mean, when people think about the coronavirus and they're thinking about all things experts when it comes to medical field, economy,
Yeah.
I mean, just the world in general, they think Hans and Jason. I mean, these guys are where I go to for
If you don't get your current event news from us, then you're
that's
failing at
right.
life, pretty much.
And if you're listening to this on the podcast and not watching on YouTube, that is laugh. I am laughing because if you really come to us for all your news, then you have bigger problems.
Well, I get my news from my wife, who gets it from Facebook, so it's
Well,
100% accurate.
well then everything you get is absolutely accurate. But no, Hans is right. We do have some reviews coming. We've got some reviews, some comparisons. I will tease the one and just say flat out, it is going to be the Pulsar Digex N450, which is the brand spanking new digital rifle scope by Pulsar that looks just like a Thermion. It's in that same aluminum
I had it out the other night.
Housing.
I had it out the other night, and well, of course, I love the design because it looks just like my Thermion, my XP50. But I like it. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about it, and I know we're teasing that. But hey, and also, I just uploaded a video just today of my full review of the AGM ASP TM35-384. That's the thermal monocular that we reviewed. Gosh, a few weeks ago now? The first AGM monocular.
Three weeks give
ago.
or take.
And you're probably asking, well, why do I want to check that one out when y'all have already reviewed it on the podcast? Well, there is some video in the review video that I just put out. So you can go see the images and see the thermal video that came off the scope, looking at some different yardages, animals, and different things. So y'all go check that out.
It looks good. I watched the review, and Hans always gives me a hard time because he's like, "You didn't even watch my video, did you?"
He doesn't.
I'm like, I watched some of them. I mean, the problem is I've seen most of the footage because he sends me the short clips. So then he puts it all into one and then expects me to go watch it all again. But no, I did watch it. It was very good, and I was actually impressed. I thought that the footage you pulled off of there with the different color palettes and stuff from that ASP was really good. It was very good. So
so y'all go check that out. I just put it up on YouTube, the Hans ETX YouTube channel, HANS ETX. I will be doing a quick review very soon. Man, you're such a good friend, and I'm so spoiled. I have got a stack of scopes and binoculars behind me, so tall that I can't even scoot my chair back right now. But I'm going to do a review of the TM. I got the TM 25-384 up there. That review's coming up soon. I've got a Digex behind me. I've got a couple more. I got a micro AGM that I need to look at and take a look at. I've got what else? I've got a AGM scope. I haven't even opened the box yet. I don't even know which one I've got.
There's more stuff coming. I mean, it is right now is a busy time. I mean, a lot of this new stuff is starting to come, and
I'm telling everybody on the video today, this is review season. This is when the stuff that was announced at SHOT Show, it starts coming out. The dealers, the people that are out there use them in the field, get a chance to test them and review them. So we're getting into review season, and it's going to be pretty hot and heavy with new scopes coming out, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit more towards the end of the show, and talk a little bit how this coronavirus may or may not affect some of the new scopes that are coming out in the spring and early summer. But go check out that video.
Yeah, I want to mention one more thing since we're throwing kind of random tidbits around. One of the things that if you own a Pulsar scope, you may know about this. There has been a huge run. This was before the toilet paper scare, okay? There was a run on Pulsar batteries, IPS batteries for the trails and the Helions, and APS batteries for the Thermions and the Axions, and now for the Digexes as well. And those batteries have been out of stock for months. We did get some IPS batteries, a little small shipment at one point. I don't even remember when now, a while back. But the APS batteries, they have been long gone, especially the APS 3s for several months. They have not been in stock at Pulsar. I don't even believe in this year. I think it was
been a long
back in
time.
maybe December. Yeah. So I've got a ton of guys that have got either, actually orders in with us. They bought the battery when they bought their scope or what have you. I also have people that for a while we were taking back orders because we thought they were going to be in quickly. It's been a long wait, and I'm saying this as of the recording of this podcast, the wait is not over. And I don't have an end. Now, granted, anything can change. The last that I talked to Pulsar, they were still waiting on the batteries, and I'm going to just give you an update because we've had a lot of phone calls, emails, messages about it, and this is what we know. There was a very, very large shipping container of these, or I don't know if a large shipping container, a shipping container with a large shipment of the APS, IPS batteries, all of them, and it left overseas, left the Pulsar factory. My understanding is around the first week or so of February. It was set to be here, hopefully, at the end of February, the very 1st of March. That's what we were originally told. And it's one of those things, when it gets on the ocean, it's not like UPS or FedEx where you can just punch in the tracking number and, see that it's coming down around Cuba right now and you can track it. So they really haven't known where that it's at, and they've just been waiting for it to get into port.
Come on. Is it that that seems it's basically just floating around and nobody knows where the ship's at. They don't have.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I don't think anybody. I know for a fact that somebody at over at Pulsar can't punch it up and pull up and see where their shipment is. Now there may be somebody that can do that.
Yeah,
but,
you'd think with all the technology they would know where that ship's at, and they probably do. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's just funny that it seems like just shoot the cannon on the boat 3 times to let us know if you're close to port or something like that.
I'm not saying it's quite that bad. What I'm saying is this. They the last time I talked to them were already expecting it to have been into port, and it wasn't there. Okay. Nobody said it sunk down there at the Cayman Islands, so everything's good. Somebody knows where the ship is, but let me put it to you like this. The people I'm dealing with don't know where the ship's at. All right. How about that? And so we're waiting. Now, again, if these things are here by the time this is released, then that's all great news. But as of now, we still don't know. We know it's supposed to be a huge shipment. They are supposed to be here basically anytime. The other thing is everything, and this is always the way, anything that comes in, via the port, they've got to be offloaded. Then customs has to go through it. Then it has to be shipped up here to Texas. And that's just the way that it goes. Well, with all this coronavirus and all this other stuff going on, would not be surprising if there was delays because of all that stuff. Understandable. So I say all that with Hans's commentary on the tracking.
I just think that the ship is lost and somebody in Cuba has a crap load of Pulsar batteries that they're sitting on right now.
I don't think it's Gilligan's Island right now. We hope not. Yeah. But we're still waiting on batteries. And
say a small prayer for the Pulsar batteries, please, everybody, that they get here safely.
I think Hans thinks this is funny, but it's the reason he thinks it's funny is because Michaela and I are the ones that answer about 3 phone calls, 4 emails, and 2 private messages per day, every day, 7 days a week about these batteries. And if there's any lesson learned, this is the lesson. And you can mark this down. I will never let anyone back order a battery again. And my reasoning is simply this. There's no profit in these batteries. And by the time that we ship these things out and have fielded all the reasonable questions from people, don't get me wrong, we've got guys that ordered these things 3 months ago and hadn't seen them. It is never worth it again. Michaela keeps telling me, she's like, we're never doing this again. We have almost 3-digit back orders, and it's going to cost us an arm and a leg to get them out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with battery back orders, but hopefully they'll be here soon. So there's that.
Well, it's good to know. I'm glad the battery situation is almost under control.
Hopefully.
I feel very confident. You're right. I don't yield a lot of the battery phone calls. I pretty much avoid those. I leave those for the battery expert. the
He
battery
waits for the
expert.
guy who says, I'm ready to purchase a scope, you know.
Yeah, those are the phone calls about to take. But so getting into, gosh, it's just when you say getting into Corona talk, I feel like
Man.
this has just been talked about to death. And I know this is not only a hunting show, an information show when it comes to night vision and thermal, but it's also a current event show. We do talk about, delve into a little bit of politics and, current events. In the coronavirus, it's all you hear about. Every news story, everything that's coming out. It's obviously it's affected you and I's personal lives, professional lives. It's everybody out there, everybody listening to this somehow is affected. Now, I guess one thing, positive thing is you and I live in the country, so we're pretty much self-quarantined 80% of our time anyway, in our little cocoons out here in the country. So for us, it's not a major, not a huge change, but there's a lot of people out there that are affected. I know that my wife, our kids were on spring break last week. They canceled school this week with the possibility that it could go on indefinitely until they tell the kids when they can come back. But my wife, when she found out that school was canceled this week, it was like somebody just kicked her in the stomach. She is hating life right now on this Corona extended spring break for the kids, because that means the kids are home all day, every day now, and Mama doesn't get a break like she normally does away from the kids. Now, it's been tough for her. It's been tough for a lot of people. But you and I obviously are working from home. It's not a big change for you. Working from home, we're obviously not traveling like I travel more than you do, but not traveling like I was. And the question is, and I think everybody wants to know, is how much longer can we expect to go and continue on with this? And that's the concerning part, is nobody really has an answer or knows.
I think the biggest concern is we haven't started good. I mean, and I'll just say this quickly. People are still asking, what do you think about it? And I don't know what I think about it. I mean, I'm last week when they canceled the Houston Livestock Show and the rodeo, I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. I was the sky has fallen. What is this about? Now, that doesn't seem weird at all, because the dominoes started falling, and shortly after that, every major sporting league and event canceled and stores closing, Apple and Nike and all kinds of things, and casinos. I mean, I've got on my Las Vegas t-shirt here, I guess to kind of just say, I don't care what you think about gambling and Las Vegas and, the reputation that it has. I will say this, for those that don't know, the casinos are basically shut down out there. And there are thousands of people that are without jobs right now. And so, golly, I don't know what this is going to do to the economy. I mean, it's going to affect a lot of different things. And again, I don't think we even, at this point, know what all is yet to come. Because, I mean, every day it's the groups that we're supposed to congregate in get smaller and smaller. This week, Trump said 10 people. And I'm like, 10 people? I mean, good gracious. It started out at 250 and then 100, then 50, now 10. And I don't know. It's like you said, I mean, I'll just say this. Go ahead.
Well, you go ahead, because I'm going to tell a story. And
okay. Well, I was going to say, I do. I have an office here on our property, so I work here. I don't have to leave. So that's nice. My office manager, Michaela, comes here. And so we are out in the country, and, my kids are homeschooled. So it's really no change for them. They don't really understand what's going on, because they don't really leave that much anyway. Do they go to town, and they do have like a homeschool co-op group they meet with once a week with other kids and go to some classes and things. So that's been called off. But yeah, it's really, really strange. And I don't know. I don't know where this is gonna end, or where it's going. So these groups just keep getting smaller and smaller. First it was 250, and then it was 100, and then 50. Now it's 10. So I'm like,
Yeah.
good gracious, where is this ever going to end? But anyway, I don't know. Hans mentioned his kids being out of school
Hmm.
on spring break. My kids are homeschooled, so they spend a lot of their time around here anyway. They're not out every single day. They do go to town, and they've got like a homeschool co-op that they go to. My wife takes them, and they have a lot of other kids, and they have classes and some things they do there once a week. But that's been called off, and a lot of church events and things have been called off, and so I don't know where this is going. I mean, it is really some strange times for sure.
Yeah, and with that being said, with the universities canceled for classes from here on out till the summer, and they're making them do online classes now. Um, you know, and the question is this going to lead to a run on ammo and guns? I did see a
I
post
think it
on
is.
a social media post. Somebody at a Cabela's, and the line was forever long at a gun counter, and this seems to always lead into people trying to hoard ammo. It doesn't matter. You think about all the past presidential elections. There's always a run on
Yeah.
ammo and guns. Any small, sometimes minor hiccup in our own universes seem to lead to people getting scared and wanting to buy more and more ammo.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but Hans, I'm not sure, and you're right. I've been trying to figure that out sometimes, and I've got caught up in these too. Trust me, I have closets full,
yeah,
piled
me too.
high with thousands of rounds ammo. But I sometimes wonder if it's really panic buying or if it's just an excuse to tell your wife, I really need to go buy this new AR-15 and all this ammo, and she doesn't say no. I'm just
Right,
thinking maybe it's just a good excuse to do what we always want to do anyway, and that's buy more guns and lots of ammo. I'm not sure, but
right.
I think you're right though. I saw a picture that somebody had posted online of an academy, and if you're not from the
Hmm.
South, an academy is like a Shields up north or something. It's just a really big sporting goods store, lots of hunting and fishing stuff. And it was completely wiped clean of ammo. I mean, it was bare shelves. Somebody else posted a picture from a Bass Pro, no AR-15 mags on the shelf. I mean, all the magazines were gone. So I don't know, man. It's people are making a run on a lot of crazy things, but I don't know. I think I like the ammo and
Yeah.
guns better than toilet paper.
Oh yeah, yeah. People out there trying to trade, toilet paper for, and they're all joking, but trading toilet paper for ammo, trade you
There
one
you
roll
go.
for a box of ammo. But so a lot of people, when it relates to, we all know we've been personally affected. Some others, or some more than others, and if you're out there right now and you know somebody that's been affected by this very dangerous virus, friends or family or whomever, our thoughts and prayers are with you. There's definitely this is a dangerous thing, and we don't want to make light of it. At the same time, we are trying to, I guess, entertain ourselves as much as possible, and
Yeah.
hopefully a few of you out there that are listening to try to keep your mind off of it. One of the things that you and I talked about, I am not, for some reason, it freaks me out that I'm not as freaked out as other people are. Because, I usually freak out sometimes about different things, but I see people out there that are going crazy over this, and I don't have that feeling. So it makes me wonder, is there something wrong with me that I'm not freaking out like everybody else is freaking out? That's what kind of gets me
Yeah.
wondering.
I agree. I've always had a preparedness mindset. I've always, I didn't say always, but I mean, I have a tendency to, worry about, okay, what is this? What's really going on? What's happening? What's the government doing? I hate to be one of those guys, but sometimes I have that mindset, especially when a Democrat's in the Oval Office. So
Hmm.
I just admit maybe that's making me feel a little better that we do have Trump in there. But I don't know. The one thing that concerns me much more than the actual sickness and illness, which don't get me wrong, my tune could change on that if people start getting into it becomes deadly. And I'm not saying I'm writing it off either. What I am saying is my greater concern is just the economic impact
Hmm.
because that can affect everyone,
Oh yeah.
whether You can live 500 miles from where the last person got the virus, but you can be greatly affected by what the economy is doing.
Yeah.
And the panicking. I mean, that's what other people panicking makes me panic, that they're panicking. I mean, I'm going,
Yeah.
what are they panicking about? I'm concerned. I don't
Right.
want people to start doing stupid stuff.
So,
I don't
yeah.
want people looting or busting down doors to get toilet paper or rice and beans. That's when I start getting concerned.
Well, and yeah, you're right. People that have now been told to work at home, we don't want to fuel the people getting nervous or scared, but working from home, does that eventually mean that, that they're laid off, and don't have a job here and moving forward? But anyway, with all that being said, if you know somebody that has the virus or struggling through it, our thoughts and prayers are with you for sure. And I hope that everybody stay safe out there. But let's talk about for a little bit how this relates and affects the thermal and night vision market, because there's been a lot of people that have been waiting for some scopes to come out that either have a pre-order down or they have their mindset on something that they want coming out here soon, whether it be spring or early summer. We've talked about some of the Pulsar stuff. What is this? The question is, what is this going to do to the supply and demand of the industry as we know? Because the demand has always been, I say always, the last 2 years has been very high.
The last 4 years.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it's been crazy high. Yeah.
So it's supply, demand has been high. Supply, I don't want to say supply has been low, but
it hasn't met demand. That's for sure.
Exactly. So what's that going to mean for the industry moving forward?
I think it can mean a lot of things.
Right.
Okay. I don't know how far I want to go off into it. I think it can mean a whole lot of things for this industry. I think immediate effects is, I think there's a possibility of the supply chain disruption. And again, I'm just talking out loud. I do think that there is a high probability of, as this goes on and these quarantines and social distancing and all these new words that we're using, I think they're probably going to be screening a lot of these imports harder. Where did they come from? What's in the box? Is there anything in there we need to be concerned about? And obviously with these scopes and this sort of thing, there's not. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't, in the same shipping container with something else or on the same plane with something else. So yeah, I think there's those concerns. I think we're going to see things. I'll just tell you, I mean, the Sightmark Wraith 4K, that's a new unit that was, demoed there at the SHOT Show. And we, got our hands on it there the week before the SHOT Show when we were at Sightmark's facility there, and a great looking optic. It was set to be here February, March, give or take. I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah, February, March.
Yep.
And my months are flying by already. And so it's not here. That kind of got moved to April. And at this point, I'm just going to be honest. We don't know, but it's not going to be here in April. It is made in China, and there's definite delays there with that factory. Now, I, again, don't know how this is true and how this relates to this specific optic, but I was reading some stuff that about, some of this stuff is kind of blowing over in China, supposedly, and that some of the factories are getting back to work. And so, anyway, I think there's some good things happening there, but that is a delay. I'm just going to tell you, it's very, let's face it, we're 2 weeks from April. March is blowing by us.
Right.
I don't think that scope's going to be here in April.
Right.
When is it going to be? We have no idea. I would just say it's delayed at this point, and don't know what that means. That could be, 45 days. It could be longer. We don't know. Sightmark's not saying. So I think we're going to see some things like that, especially things that are coming out of China. I think some mounts and some, hardware and those sort of things. But when we talk about other things, like I know one of the big questions has been like the Pulsar Thermion XQ units. Again, new units announced. The good thing is that stuff is not coming out of China. Yeah. So Pulsar has basically two factories, and they're based in the main part of Pulsar is based in Lithuania. They've got some stuff there in Belarus, which is kind of like the next guess it's a country, but the next state over country, I guess they are.
Yeah.
And then they have another one in Scotland. And so right now, that stuff is still flowing through. We don't seem to have any problems with it. Those XQ units, we've gotten a lot of pre-orders on those and a lot of questions of when they're coming. And we're still sticking to that, June, July. Could they be here sooner? Absolutely. We hope so. We always keep our fingers crossed. Could they be here later? Absolutely. But what I would say is we don't know of any disruptions in the supply chain for that stuff. So that's really good.
Right.
These other brands, we just don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. We have some of the AGM stuff we know is coming out of China, but so far that stuff's been rolling good, and so I think we'll have to just see how it all plays out. And again, hopefully, some of these other countries, or maybe if from what it's looking like in the end stages of this virus, as we're just now getting it, so maybe supply from other countries is gonna pick up, but. Right now, what we've seen so far, I will just say this, the demand for scopes really has not dropped. I mean, seasonally, we're starting into our slower time just simply because it's that time of year. It's getting warmer. The coyote seasons are going out up north. The fur buying season is pretty much over up there. And so it is a slower time for the northern sales as it's getting warmer down here. And the snakes are out, the mosquitoes are out, the pollen's out. The kids normally are doing other things sports-wise. They're not right now, activities. But it's just we're getting into that slower season. So I think we're seeing some of that naturally. But, we still don't have, we're still not stocked on inventory. I mean, we still need a lot of stuff. We've got waiting list out the wazoo. So, again, things are still going good. But I think we're in a wait and see is just the whole country of how this is going to play out and how long it's really going to take.
Yeah, I think you're right. The calls are still coming in for this stuff. There's still people calling, have a lot of questions about them. They're in the buying mode. People are putting money down. They're still buying. So at this point, I agree with you. I don't think it's really hurt demand at this point.
No.
You never know what the future is going to hold or how long this thing is going to run through and cause everybody's life to be upended. And in the grand scheme of things, the hunting scopes, I guess, are not as important as toilet paper. So get your toilet paper first.
Right, toilet paper. Yeah, I was going to offer a sale with a free roll of toilet paper with every purchase, but I realized that we didn't have enough toilet paper. No, not for that. So yeah.
Well, so I know though that a lot of people have been waiting for those Thermion XQs, and you talked about. They're coming from Lithuania and Scotland. There's big trouble in the European countries as well with this going on. So I think there are a lot of people wondering international shipping, how's that going to affect that? And at this point, like Jason said, it may delay some things, right now a little bit, but we're not looking at any like huge months long delay and nothing that we've been told or know of at this point.
No, nothing at all. Yeah. I mean, everybody. And I think it's too early to tell. Yeah. I think that it's a fluid situation and things are changing by the minute. But no, I don't see any major things happening right now. I do think, I'm just talking. We're randomly talking here, folks. If it comes to our mind, we're mentioning it. Yeah. I wonder what's going to happen with interstate trucking. With UPS and FedEx. I mean, could there be delays in that? I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be, we're just going to have to watch it play out and see how it goes.
Yeah, I saw an article today that said that Amazon was hiring 100,000 or wanting to hire 100,000 new employees to keep up with online shopping because now everybody is stuck at home and they're going to be doing all their shopping online and delivery service. But think about how strained shipping companies were before all this went on, and now if everybody's buying online because they're stuck at home, how much more that's going to cause in the trucking and delivery business.
I didn't really even think about that. It's going to be like Christmas for UPS and FedEx. Everybody's stuck at home. That is
nonstop. Everybody's buying everything from household goods to some food items, buying it all online and having it delivered. And this, it's. As you can tell from all this going on, our economy here is tied into the global market. I mean, whether we want it to be or not, our economy is tied into all the other countries, and all of the industries in the United States are tied in or woven into each other as well. And the processes and way that goods are delivered and shipped and purchased, everything is all interconnected into this modern business model that we all have right now, and e-commerce is really driving a lot of this. But so it's not just one thing that's affected; it's a lot of things that are affected on down the line.
Yeah, and I try to find the good in all things that I can, and this is kind of strange, but tonight I was putting my daughter to bed. She's 10, and she said, we've been haven't tried not to scare our kids, obviously, and they don't grasp it, but we're just telling them, explaining to them what's going on. We haven't, I haven't lied to them. We haven't minced words. And, just, hey, listen, and my wife is a hairdresser. Okay. So she's already, she works, limited hours now because she does take care of our kids, homeschool them. But tomorrow is one of the days that she works, and she's already had over half her appointments cancel. And so, the kids see this stuff going on and they're asking questions. And my daughter was like, I was putting her to bed, and she goes, Daddy, she said, you got to explain all this again to me. And why are people canceling their appointments with mommy and not getting their hair done and, whatever. So we're kind of talking about it. So I had the opportunity to basically explain trickle down economics with her. And I'm explaining how, somebody, has a job in this industry and they get laid off, and now they don't have the money to purchase this. And I'd explain how this literally trickles all the way down and affects the whole economy. And we had like this very long conversation about it, and she understood a lot of it and asked a lot of good questions. And so I was like, hey, there's some good of this. And you know what? And I'll just say this. I mean, Hans and I have never, hidden our faith. And it was the way I ended that with her was, sweetie, our faith is not in our money, our jobs, how much toilet paper we have. And I told her that, how much food we have. Our faith is in God, and that's what we're going to rely on at the end of the day. It's not, on the economy and other things. Yes, these things can affect us, and nobody ever said it's going to be easy, and God didn't promise that. But so anyway, I think it's an opportunity. If nothing else, we're all going to be stuck at home with our families, and I don't know, stuck at home, maybe not the right word, but we're going to get to spend more time together. Right. And so there's a lot of opportunity there. So I think we need to find the good in all of it. And yeah, there's going to be some hard times for all of us, probably economically, socially, investment wise, a lot of, the stock market's crashing, a lot of things, but hey, you might as well find the good, and you might as well try to laugh about it. And I'm just hoping that the actual virus and what have you, that these efforts are enough that we do contain that. Because definitely, I don't want people getting sick. I don't want, folks, dying or being hospitalized. And one last thing I'll say, and I'm just kind of ranting and rambling, but golly, kudos to everybody in the medical profession, because right now I know they've got a lot of pressure on them. There's a lot of unknowns that they don't have the answers to. And I think if this virus does hit, or as it hits, it's just going to be more and more pressure on them. So, definitely thankful for all those people who have chosen that career path and sacrificed for us.
Yeah, I definitely think the silver lining in all this is we get to spend more time with our families. Our kids are at home. More time for hunting, more time for hog hunting. That's always a good thing. The coronavirus, you don't have to worry about it when you're out in the woods by yourself. So I've been celebrating this by doing even more hunting than I'm already doing.
Hans is trying to bring back the swine flu. That's what I'm pretty sure.
Their daughters at home, so the youngest daughter's playing softball this year, so her and I got to get out into the front yard and play catch yesterday.
Is she having like softball, or they cancel all that?
Well, they delayed the first practice, but we've been out there practicing, and threw the ball, and dang it, hit her right smack in the eye, and now she's got a black eye, and I felt terrible. But the ball, I threw it, the ball went right over her glove and hit her. I heard it when it hit her eye, and my heart melted. And I felt terrible. She's 8 years old, And she did good. She shook it off, but she's got a nice little black eye from and some softball laces on it. But I promise y'all, I did not throw it hard. I threw it as soft as I could. It just went right over the glove.
Knuckleballed it in there.
Exactly. But yeah, so, stay tuned to the Late Night Vision Show. Again, we're going to be talking, if anything changes and it does affect the night vision and thermal industry, we will be talking about it here on the Late Night Vision Show. We appreciate y'all checking us out this week. So, as always, if you want to find, and if you're looking, Jason is still in business and still doing this full time. He is self-quarantined, but he is working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sometimes it feels like, but if you call him 24 hours a day, he won't call you after, or he won't answer the phone after hours, but he'll definitely call you back. But you can find Jason at the website's outdoorlegacygear.com. You can call Jason at 877-350-1818. You can find Jason's all his social media stuff on Facebook, Outdoor Legacy Gear. You can find on Instagram, YouTube. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube, and that's HANSETX. You can find more information about the Late Night Vision Show podcast on our website. Jason, if anybody's missed one of our episodes, they can find all of the past episodes there, but it's the latenightvision.show.com. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, we're on YouTube and on Instagram. You can find us on iTunes if you're on the go, Google Play, Spotify.
Man, that's a
Spotify,
new one.
Yeah, Spotify and Spotify. We thank y'all for joining us this week. This has been episode 98 of the Late Night Vision Show, and we've got one more until the big show 100.
Until the big 100, we do, and we need to get a plan for 100. Not sure what we're going to do there, but
don't give the listeners, don't let them think that we haven't already have this planned. It's already planned out, folks. It's going to be awesome.
It's planned. It's completely planned.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We almost guarantee that, almost. But yeah, no, folks, thanks for coming back and checking the show out. Again, we know this week was a little different, but hey, this is uncharted waters for our whole country and for all of us. So we wanted to go ahead and talk about it. And again, as Hans said, if something changes and how it affects our industry, we will be talking about it more. Also, don't forget, we will be coming with that Pulsar Digex N450 digital night vision scope review very soon. So stick around for that. We hope to see you back here next week. And as always, stay safe in the field and keep making those bacon pancakes.